Today we are going to start on before business rule. So on overview session also I have explained you about before business rule. So it is like executed after the form submission and before record is updated in the database. So as soon as like you click on submit button or save button or update button, so at that point of time, this business rule execute, and before database committed is happened, at that point of time, this business rule is running. All right.
Yep.
So they have given an example like you can populate closed by with the name of currently logged in user when we are trying to close the incident. Right. So there is already this thing implemented out of the box where as soon as we are as soon as the incident is closed, so closed by and closed date is populated. So at that point of time, what is executed? Before business rule is only executed at that point of time because anyway we are going to update the record in database. So just before updation in the database, they will send one or two fields more to update that record in the database at a single time. So it just saves the multiple update on particular record. All right.
Yeah.
So I will show you how this will work. Let's see what example I have added in the system. Okay, so we have this business rule execute before business rules. So now here, if you see, we have like before business rule and we have selected here when as before. So here there are like before, after, async, display. So we have already seen display business rule earlier, right? Yesterday. And now we will see this before insert or update. So I have selected before and insert and update. So before insert and update, and we are checking, checking state changes to resolved. We have added the condition whenever the state is changing to resolved. So what we will do in advanced section. Okay, so in advanced section, I am just adding the display name here on this field. So let us check what is that field here. Yeah, so this is the field name, incident resolved by. So here we will populate the logged in user, just like example which was on our document, right? So this field will be populated as soon as we are changing state to resolved. Okay, but right now it will not execute because it is inactive. So let me do active and let me save this record. And now we will try to execute based on this condition, state changes to resolved, and we will see that our value is populated on this field, this one, incident resolved by. So as soon as we have click on resolved, and then we will try to save. And you will see
Yep. Yep.
this is populated because current logged in user is system administrator. Okay.
Yep.
So based on that, it is populated. And if we reload the form, value will not go. Why? At, because at the time of database commit, we are sending this field update as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it together update this state, this field, and other field which we have added some values, right? Together it will update the value in the database. Otherwise, what will happen? First, this state will save. Then after we will save this one. So that will happen two times update on particular database record, right?
Yep.
But that is not right way because it will do a multiple updates, so that is not recommended, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can do anything here. It's just resolved by, but we can do multiple things. Like if we can suppose we have to update 4 or 5 fields also, we can do that as well. All right.
Yep.
And most of the business rule you will see, like you will be writing before business rule only for
Mm-hmm.
most of the requirement. If you in future, if you will work in business rule, so most of the business rule will be written before business rule. And then second you will be using query, and then third async one. But this is the most frequently used with any for anyone. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So this is evergreen business rule which mostly it is used.
Mm-hmm.
And here we don't have to write current dot update, it will auto update because before committing to database we are sending the value, right? So
Mm-hmm.
before update or insert. All right.
Yep.
So you have got it. So you have
Mm.
any questions here?
No, no, no. Fine.
Okay. So let me just deactivate this one.
After we don't use a lot.
After it is like after we use, but very like it depends on requirement. So sometimes requirement comes, so client will tell, okay, we have to update instantly certain values. So at that point of time, after business rule will utilized, but most of the time, if suppose you have a habit of writing some code, so you will just ignore of writing after business rule. Because what happens is like after business rule we cannot update the value after that, because we have to write current dot update. So if it will make it as a loop, like we will use current dot update and it will trigger multiple times same value, and you will get some violation error, unique key violation error you will get for some of the records.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I will show you how that after business rule will get executed. So here, where is our after? That should be. Mhm. This is also before. This is async. This is also before. I didn't use after business rule. Okay, so I have used it on other table. So I will tell you why it is written on a requested item table. See, execute after business rule.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you why I have written it on a requested item. Because under requested item, we have multiple uh, catalog task, right? If you have seen catalog
Mm-hmm.
item, you have seen it.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have multiple catalog tasks. Suppose RITM request is raised. Under that, RITM is raised. Under that, we have 4, 5, 6, 7 tasks under requested item,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So what we have to do? So we cannot update current record on this after business rules. If you see, our business rule is written for requested item, but we are updating the data for another table. So we are updating SC task table here. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now what we are doing exactly? We are doing after update business rule. Okay. After update business rule, what we are doing? Work notes changes. As soon as we are adding any work notes to this particular requested item form, so it will be reflected on all the child task, whatever update I have provided as part of requested item. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So I will show you how it executes. Suppose I will take this RITM. Okay, currently I have one SC task here. No problem. So that's fine. Here also it will execute. So suppose I am writing here. I have to first activate it. Okay. So now I will add test from RITM to tasks. If suppose we will be having 5 tasks, it will be updated to all the 5 tasks. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I have updated this test from RITM to task. So you see we have got the update here as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is SC task and this was RITM and we
Mm-hmm.
got update
Yep.
here. Okay. And now I will show you like why it will update all the SC tasks because I am using a while loop here. So suppose
Mm-hmm.
any number of task is there, so it will get all the task updated there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check if I have 2 tasks RITM. Yeah. So this is task 1, task 2. And now we will check here if anything is updated. You see, we don't have anything updated right now and both the tasks. Now I will update here test 2 task 1 and 2. Okay. Now I will
Mm-hmm.
update, save it. And now you will see at both tasks you will get the update this and this. See,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have seen the update here. Both the task is updated. Okay.
Yep.
So mostly after business rule is used when we have to update other table from current table.
Mm-hmm.
You got it?
Yeah.
So that is the main cause we will use after business rule. And that's why I told you it will be not much used. It will be used, but not much.
Yeah.
So that's why, because we are updating other tables from this current table. So there will be a very rare case where we will use after business rule for current table itself for
Mm-hmm.
updating for particular for same record. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the after business rule. So any doubt on this?
No. Probably I need to know some sort of scenarios.
Scenario I will give you, so you
Mm-hmm.
can, for each type of business rule, I will give one scenario. So
Mm-hmm.
you implement that. Okay.
Yeah.
I will give you scenario for each type of business rule. Like I will give you 5 questions or five requirement to implement using business rules. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then you will get to know like what we can use, which type of business rule is best to use. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have our async business rule. Async business rule also we are using it for other table because it is just like after business rule, but only difference is like async business rule will run in a job, like it will be queue, it will be running in a queue. It will not hold to update, it will not stop you to work on other things. But in after business rule, till the code is executed, you cannot do anything in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It will execute its code first, then only you can work on other part of the system.
Yep.
But here it's not like that. Here you will work, you will just execute this rule and then you can work on other things. This rule will be executed on backend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have a condition like state is on hold. On hold reason is awaiting problem. And now here what we are doing is like we are creating a problem using incident. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we are creating a problem using this incident. At that point of time, we are creating async business rule. Okay.
Yep.
So let me activate this rule first. Let me open some incident. Okay. So this is the incident. And now what we will execute these conditions. So we don't have anything right now here. We don't have any problem record. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now we will make state change to on hold. On hold is awaiting problem, right? So this is the condition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now I will save it. Now you will see it is updated instantly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after some time that problem will be created. Okay. Now you see problem is not added, but let me reload. It might have created. Let me check. Okay. So let me show you on backend. Why it is not shown there? Because we have to populate our parent ID as well. That's why it is not displaying under incident. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you see this problem is created right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me add that created updated field. Did it. Okay. Now you see it is created today,
Yep.
1 minute ago,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even though, all right. So this
Mm-hmm.
is created, and if you see, there are not much values added because I didn't add much information. I just populated this short description here. Okay. So short description is populated and our problem is created.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So here parent is not populated. There is a parent field. That's why it is not showing under that incident. This is empty. So this field value also we have to set here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then at that point of time, this problem will also link to this incident table.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
Mm-hmm.
this way you can use async business rules. All right. And same async business rule you can use it like on after business rule example also. You can use that place also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in after business rule you can execute this thing also.
Mm-hmm.
But it
Why
depends.
then? Why? What is the difference then after if we can create?
Yeah, there is a difference because I mentioned like after business rule what it will do. Suppose if you are updating like 100 record. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So your screen will be hold for some time, for
Mm-hmm.
5 to 10 seconds. Your screen will be in on hold. You cannot do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have written async business rule, so as soon as you click on save or update, you can work on other things. Those execution will happen on backend.
Mm-hmm.
This will happen on backend, background.
Yep.
But after business rule will execute instantly.
Mm-hmm.
First that script will be executed, then you can work on the system again.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. And this difference you will not find for small executions. But if suppose there is a requirement for hundreds of records, at that
Mm-hmm.
point of time only you will know the difference.
Yep.
Otherwise you will say, okay, it is not showing any difference. It is working same way. Right now it is working same way. I am telling
Mm-hmm.
you that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
in general overview, I am telling you. So that's how async and after business rule works.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So do you have questions on this?
I think I'm okay. Yep.
If you see here also, async business rule. This will run asynchronously, like schedule job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it will execute on backend. You can work on other things for that particular time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is mostly like if people are writing after business rules, they generally use query business rules. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, not query, async business rule.
Yeah.
Okay, so most of the time people uses async, but sometimes the requirement comes that way, so you have to use after business rule also.
Mm.
Okay,
Yep.
but there is one cache also, so there is some best practice of business rules. I will show you business rules. Okay, here is the. So here we have like a business rule technical best practices if you see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here also they have mentioned display before after async, uh, and here some of the best practice like is like they will we have to think like when to run business rule.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when we have to run the business rule, first we have to think that as part of that requirement. Okay, there can be another way like you can use it, but we have to think if we are writing business rule whether it is really required to use business rule. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and if you see here also they have written you can use an async business rule in place of after business rule. Async business rules are similar to that of after rules, in that they run after the database commits a change. So async rule run in the background simultaneously with other process. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I have told you the same thing, right?
Yep.
And now it is recommended we have to use conditions in business rules. Why it is recommended? Because if suppose you don't write any conditions, so those business rule will be running every time. Whenever you are doing any execution on your record, those business rule will run. It will not
Mm-hmm.
do anything, but it will still run because we didn't use any conditions, right?
Yep.
So we should use conditions in business rules. And another best practice is like we should keep our code in functions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this. There is a function, and inside that function, we have to write our code. So it is a
Mm-hmm.
best practice. We should write our script under functions only. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that your code will execute in a proper way. All right.
Yep.
And now we have to prevent recursive business rules. I have told you that in after business rule, if suppose we are using current dot update, so we will get a violation error, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or sometime it goes in a loop because update update business rule is already updating the database, and we will use current dot update. So what will happen? It will update uh, unlimited times. It will update system again and again, and it will make system hold and work very slow. So we have to prevent using those type of things to use in our business rules. Okay. So current dot update we should not use generally in any business rule as per my view. Okay. Never try to use current dot update in business rule because at some requirement it will break the system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it will go into the loop and infinity
Yeah.
times it will continues.
And it will make the system performance issues,
Yep.
and you will never know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Yep.
now
I
we
understood
should
you.
use business rule to double check critical input. Yeah, that's fine. That is, people will already take care about it. Okay. And
Yep.
use script include instead of global business rule. So there is one type of business rule also because there is a global table, right? In ServiceNow system, there is a
Mm-hmm.
table called global. So on that table, we should
Mm-hmm.
not create a business rule. Okay. Let me show you
Yep.
which table they are talking about. Suppose this is an incident selected, and now let me click here. Global. So see, you are seeing a global table here, right?
No, your screen is not. Yeah, I can see now.
Okay, so this is the global table. This table we
Mm-hmm.
should never write a business rule.
Yeah.
What it will do because business rule will run for every task in the
Mm.
system.
Yep.
Okay, so that is never recommended to use global business rule or call global business rule. Better to use script includes. Okay,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
script include I will show you how we can execute in further sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
so these are the best practice which we need to know while writing our
Mm-hmm.
business rule. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so you can find best practice on ServiceNow developer document itself also. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.